Good afternoon. This is Dr. Joseph Smith. I'm here speaking with you on crime, on America, on justice, on sports, and we're brought to you today by Sports Fusion Media. If it isn't Sports Fusion, it isn't sports, it isn't news, and it isn't freedom, liberty, and justice protecting you, protecting your family, and protecting your rights, and the things that made this country great and people speak out all around the world for. So I'm talking to today on judicial corruption. When you have a crime, such as a few weeks ago when someone poured gas on a young girl and lit her on fire, and he was incarcerated 72 times, shame on the judges that were involved in his incarceration 72 times. Shame on the lawyers that helped him get free, because these people were basically extremists, and they basically were terrorists allowing criminals on the bottom to commit crimes against good people. We need our constitutional rights protected. We need the people that violate our Constitution on the top and the bottom in the street incarcerated and brought down. We need justice for America, and we need to reinstate the Constitution so it's not in a straitjacket for freedom, democracy, liberty, and justice. We have here millions and millions of Americans, elder veterans, that are robbed and murdered for money by family and other people, where lawyers and judges let hundreds of trillions of dollars be robbed every year with their hand in the pocketbook, instead of the agencies we have in state and federal and local prosecuting these criminals to the full extent of the law. There's no room in America for corrupt judges, corrupt attorneys, corrupt police, and scum on the bottom committing crimes. If you write to us at our email is dcijoe@gmail.com. We're giving out $100 each month for the best story on a crime that needs to be exposed, shown, and brought to the public's eye worldwide to fight corruption, to protect our families, your families, and friends from having these crimes from reoccurring. Please join me. Let's join hands and fight corruption wherever it is and wherever its ugly head tends to stick its head up. Thank you. Have a good day. Dr. Joseph Smith. Hi, my name is Dr. Joseph Smith. I'm here bringing to you attention from Sports Fusion on crime in America, crime around the world, and veterans. Our veterans, the people that fight for our freedom, our democracy, our liberty, our justice, basically are, with all the rest of us, often put in a position as they get older, being victims of crimes, elder abuse, financial crimes, that a lot of times the Department of Justice fails to even take the complaints, fails to prosecute. Representatives fail to do things, ignoring the very foundation of our country and of our Constitution. I'm here requesting that we have something done about this. In my synopsis, I had my father was a veteran and embezzled, after he was put into the hospital to help him die, out of hundreds of millions of dollars. And this affects hundreds of thousands of people for hundreds of trillions of dollars across this country. I believe there's about 14 million victims in this country, veterans and not veterans, that are abused, sometimes killed, while they're being robbed in financial crimes. And the Department of Justice needs to be efficient and expedient in prosecuting these people. And a lot of these people have gotten away with crimes for years in and out of court, with police reports and non-police reports. And we need to make sure that the different systems we have in process, whether they're in city, county, state, or federal, are responsible for what they're supposed to do. We're going to be holding every month a $100 bonus on hearing the best crime story that needs to be expedited and showed across the country and worldwide, where there's been a misalignment of justice and there needs to be an expedition of justice being carried out. So please get back in touch with us at Sports Fusion Media, DCI Joe, J-O-E, at gmail.com, and be part of our podcast for that story, to reach out to the rest of the people around America and the rest of the world for the things that our forefathers are fighting for and our soldiers are fighting for every day. Thank you, and have a good day. Dr. Joseph Smith. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Joseph Smith. Today we're talking about elder abuse, fraud, bank fraud, money embezzlement, and in this case we're talking about Bank of America, one of many banks that is supposed to be controlled by the Office of Currency Controller and follow red flag rules, and often Bank of America has violated many red flag rules, allowing money laundering, bank fraud, PPP fraud, and a number of other things, and ignored basically all the premises that are supposed to govern their functioning. And I've run against Bank of America in a personal case where they ignored forged checks, they ignored PPP fraud, they have ignored a trust ownership of a corporation, and they've ignored basically money laundering, and they continue to do so, where one of their people a few years ago basically read the documents that I had and claimed that if it was brought in front of a jury, they might be found guilty of $500 million. That's $500 million worth of punitive damages. That was 11 years ago. So this is a case of about $500 million to $1 billion in punitive damages that Bank of America has willfully and recklessly assisted Robert Smith and Paul Smith in violating the law, in elder abuse, in money laundering, in identity theft, and this continues on and on and on, where the Office of Currency Controller did nothing, and now it's going to be bringing in the SBA because in 2020, these people committed a crime against the SBA and the federal government along with tax fraud, and they're continuing to rob and rob and rob, and we need to put a stop to this. Each month, we're giving out $100 as a prize for the best story, crime story in America, to stop these crimes and to show it to the public. So please email us at dcijoe, J-O-E, at gmail.com, and let us share your story with the rest of the world and with the government to stop the corruption on the top and the bottom. Remember this, the swamp is all around us, and we certainly need to burn it, and we next need to excommunicate the people on the top and the bottom that are a part of this problem and arrogant and ignorant, and they have a complete violation of the laws they're sworn to uphold. Thank you, and you have a good day. Dr. Joseph Smith. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Joseph Smith. I'm here speaking with you on Sports Fusion Media. If it isn't Sports Fusion, it isn't sports. If it isn't Sports Fusion, it isn't news. We're talking about the state of America. America has so much crime in it, and 99% of it is not just illegal aliens that are criminals, but are American citizens that are criminals, where in this case in Chicago, we have this person that was named Lawrence Reed, and this Lawrence Reed was incarcerated 72 times before, 72 times. And he got out and he poured gasoline in Chicago on a train on a 26-year-old girl. And this person is a terrorist. He should be the death penalty. He should have had the death penalty before. And the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Johnson, is a terrible mayor, one of the worst, and incompetent, And he is the reason there's a lot of crime running rampant in Chicago. The government holds a responsibility, both city, state, county, and federal, on the crimes that are rampantly done in this country, with offenders that often are in jail 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 times for rape and murder. And they're treated like royalty. They should be used for body parts. They should be used and put away as terrorists. And there's no reason that they belong in jail and they belong ever being in the streets with normal people that could be prey and victimized by them again. So I'm urging you to join us from wherever around the country you are, to join our network to fight crime, to fight corruption, to protect the principles that make this country great: freedom, democracy, liberty, and justice. And justice is basically an idea in this country, but tremendously abused, where the Constitution is basically in a straitjacket. So all of our family and relatives that came to this country and fight for this country every day, the morals and the things that they fight for often are violated by filth on the top, corrupt judges, and corrupt scum on the bottom of the streets that don't belong being free to roam or practice. So join us, fight with me to extend this network. We're giving $100 once a month for the best story, but we're looking to bridge the network internationally to fight corruption, both on the top and the bottom. Again, our contact information is DCI Joe, J-O-E, @gmail.com. Please join us. Help make America great again and bring back the foundations of this nation on freedom, democracy, liberty, and justice for all. Thank you. Dr. Joseph Smith. Have a good day. Hi, we're here today, Sports Fusion Media, Dr. Joseph Smith, to bring you information on fraud, corporate fraud, embezzlement, trust fraud, money laundering, tax fraud, SBA fraud, bank fraud. And this case has happened to me. It's in Palm Beach County, where Palm Beach County, with corrupt judges, have had me basically declared a vexatious litigant so they could help my brother, who was disinherited from a trust, Robert Lawrence Smith and Paul Gary Smith, steal $500 million to $1 billion in assets and punitive damages from the Harold Smith Trust over 27 years. And basically, they've been paying off public officials and crooked attorneys in court and out of court to continue robbing a company with tax fraud, PPP fraud. We're looking for a multi-million-dollar attorney on performance to take the case and look to see what he or she could do with these numerous areas of fraud done with elder abuse, trust fraud, corporate fraud, and death of a veteran, Harold J. Smith. My name again is Dr. Joseph Smith. I'd like you to get back to us. If you want to communicate, you could communicate by DCI Joe, J-O-E, @gmail.com. Again, we're also taking other people's stories on crimes and corruption, where we're giving a $100 prize once a month for the best story on bringing an end to corruption in the United States, to fight corruption together as a family for liberty, freedom, and justice, and bring back the American way. Thank you. Have a good day. Dr. Joseph Smith.